How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There's something happening today that's never happened with Bitcoin, but it's going to happen well, we'll probably know about it in about 12 hours or so. And this is going to be talked about a lot on Twitter. It's going to be passed around in financial media, so you might as well hear it beforehand because it is a huge milestone. We also have some economic data coming out today and tomorrow that you should pay attention to, and less than 6 days left before elections. So you want to be tuned in. You want to be watching everything that you can because this market is only going to get crazier from here. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, we're seeing a very healthy pullback. Healthy as in, I think this is honestly good. We go up to the prior all-time high, consolidate for a couple hours at least. Keep in mind, we were at this point yesterday, hitting the previous all-time high. So who knows, maybe we go right back up and bust through it by the time you watch this video. But as you can see, we did get rejected around 71.5, came back down just slightly, trended sideways for a day, and then made another move up. And what does this look like? Well, we got rejected at prior all-time highs, came down, trended sideways a bit. Looks like we might touch down right on previous resistance, which is super bullish if we can turn it around and then make another move up. I would not be surprised based on what's happening today. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. You can get it set up in just a few seconds. It's a great place to trade. Of course, make sure you do your due diligence and read the terms and conditions. Look at this. ADP non-farm employment change, or private payrolls, comes in above estimates at 233,000. They were expecting 110,000. So employment coming in a little bit better than expected. Yesterday, I believe it came in a little bit worse than expected. Now, we just see, different things in different reports. It seems like right now, not everything is making a ton of sense. It's not like everything is pointing in one direction. We're kind of like everyone's pointing fingers different ways. What's happening? We have GDP coming in at 2.8%. The expectation was 2.9. The last was 3%. Keep in mind, this is still good. 2.8% GDP growth is good. We don't want it to be too high either. If it came in at something like 3.5% or 4%, I think the market would be really scared about runaway inflation. So I think this is just fine. GDP coming in a little bit lower than expected. Keep in mind, we do have PCE coming in tomorrow, which might even be more important for the markets. We got 2.7% last month, and then we had 2.6% for the 3 months before it. So it would obviously be nice to see it come back down a little bit. We don't want to see a re-acceleration. We don't want 2.8, 2.9, something like that. But we are expecting, somewhere in that vicinity of 2.7. Of course, they don't even have the forecast on here, but pay attention to that. We have about 24 hours before that comes in. Now, Eric Balkanis from Bloomberg lays out what's going to happen most likely today for the Bitcoin ETFs. He says, okay, we're going to need to move up our predictions as yet. Again, the Bitcoin ETFs gobbled up 12,000 coins like Pac-Man on a bender, now holding 996,000 Bitcoin. Good chance to pass 1 million today. Keep in mind, they gobbled up about 12,000 yesterday. Legit shot to get to Satoshi by end of November, 1.1 million coins. He says we're at, about 996,000 today. Also, IBIT has crossed the 30 billion mark in assets after monster flows and price appreciation yesterday. It hit this milestone in just 293 days, an all-time record. The old record was JEPI, which did it in 1,272 days, a little bit more than 4 times that amount of time. And GLD, which took almost 1,800 days. He says this is just unreal. Of course, we could bust through this as well. If Bitcoin goes up to 80, 85,000, 90,000, we could get up to 40 billion, 50 billion in quick time, especially with this kind of buying. Keep in mind, yesterday, BlackRock alone bought about 8,800 Bitcoin. They bought $600 million yesterday. Okay, this is just a massive amount of Bitcoin. And they don't seem to be stopping anytime soon. They've been adding more and more and more, accelerating their purchases recently. And this is after weeks and weeks of buying from them. Now, of course, anything can happen in the future. We've seen it where they were swallowing up a ton and then they just kind of trailed off for a month or so. and then they bought more and then trailed off for a month, bought for another month, trailed off for a month. So don't be surprised if it slows down at some point in the future. A lot of this is from hedge funds, it's from RIAs, it's from BlackRock trying to position them in this asset. Keep in mind, it's not really BlackRock buying a lot of Bitcoin. Of course, they could be buyers right now. We'll know the next time that we get disclosures. They could be buying within their own portfolios, which I always find really bullish because that means that they're trying to position their portfolios to get extra returns. They're kind of slowly orange pilling people because they might throw Bitcoin in a couple portfolios and then those portfolios do fairly well. And they say, well, if we would have gone 1% Bitcoin instead of 0.1% Bitcoin, instead of a 4% return, we could have gotten a 5% return or something like that. And that will slowly happen over time. People will get more excited about Bitcoin. We'll slowly start to understand it better. And we'll see more and more inflows, which will push up the price. Because keep in mind, as the price goes up, more people want to buy it. But there's no more Bitcoin that's created past what would normally be created. Right now, you can see the market opening, Bitcoin just falling down slightly. Again, I think this could be extremely bullish if we just bounce off this level. It'd be pretty textbook. We have seen this in the past as well, where we came right back down to prior resistance, like here, where we went up to 64.4, then came down to 64.7, and then just bounced heavy. So we could see that again. Keep in mind that the market will be volatile, so be ready for anything. We do have the elections coming up in a few days. At this point, you can see the betting markets are saying Trump has about a 63% chance of winning. This is actually on Margex. You can vote, or you can not vote, but you can bet on who's going to win the election. As you can see here, it's been as high as 73%, and it's been as low as about 59% for Trump. Some people just like betting on different events. So if you want to do that, you can do it on Margex. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, we don't have too much time to wait until some major catalysts, including PCE. We have more earnings as well. Yesterday, I talked about Google and how bullish their end of quarter was, or their quarterly results that are up 6% here today. So we won't have that much longer to see more earnings. We have some big earnings after the market closes today. We have PCE tomorrow. We have the elections on Tuesday. We have the Fed speaking on Thursday. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of volatility. Get ready. We could, honestly, we could see a turbo pump to $80,000 in the next few days. We could also see a drop right back down to the mid 60s. I think as long as we stay mid 60s, this is still intact, this very bullish setup. Keep in mind that would still put us down on this trend line. We would still bounce off of the trend line and move up, and we would still have a higher low, which is really why I'm watching. I just want to continue getting higher highs and higher lows. That is the bullish setup I am looking for, and I think everything fundamentally looks really good still. Let me know your thoughts, though. Again, if you want to trade crypto underneath the video, great. There's a link to Margex. You can also trade the U.S. elections. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.